Are you tired of paying a fortune for tools? Well, today I'm going to show you how I saved over 50% by buying tools from China. We're usually quite quick to dismiss tools from China right away. I want to find out if there are some really good options to the more expensive alternatives. So I bought a bunch of tools from China to solve some of the problems I have in the workshop. And today I want to find out if it would be a good idea to spend our money on this instead of all the expensive alternatives. And I even designed my own tool, which is in one of these boxes right here. Oh, I've been on the market for some tools for a while and I thought to look for them on a Chinese website. This isn't sponsored in any way. I bought these tools with my own money. The money that I got from a lot of people complaining in this video right here. And I want to know if they're as good as they seem and if they look as good as they did on the website. So I sent for all of these the same day, January 24th, and they arrived a bit more than 2 weeks after I ordered. So if you decide to order these products, it won't arrive with the baseless delivery truck. I should also say that there are cheaper alternatives to most of these things. I wasn't looking for the cheapest option, but rather the best option from a cheaper market. And I will tell you, in preparing this video, I was prepared to say something completely different in my final verdict than I found myself saying. But there's also one thing that really surprised me with one of these tools. So let's get started. One of the issues with my old DeWalt table saw is this, the miter gauge. It's not accurate at all. And I know this is a really cheap table saw, but chances are if you have a really expensive table saw, that the miter gauge that came with the machine is equally bad as this one. And I would love to be able to do accurate miters on my table saw. So this is a miter gauge from a company called Hongdui. So that's not a name you'll remember like Apple or Nike, but if it's good, it doesn't matter, right? But except for the company name, this looks nice. I mean, just look at the handle. And the details on it are just amazing. It seems like they really spent some time making this, and the movement in it seems really precise. But I have tried it out to see what it could actually do. When I saw the images on the website, I knew I had to order it. It's like Madonna when I wasn't born. Now the fence isn't from the same company, but I bought it from the same store. It seems okay, I guess, but there are fancier fences out there. I attached the fence to the miter gauge and there are these fine adjustments to get it level to the blade, so that's good. Not all fancy miter gauges have that fine adjustment as you would expect. Getting a miter gauge is an obvious upgrade to almost all table saws. Now this one is made from aluminium. There's a cog for the fine adjustment and that seems to be made from stainless steel. Now the cog has these grooves for every millimeter, which means that it will be easy doing repeated cuts since it just slots into place. But it also has quick stops at 0, 22.5, 45 and 67.5 degrees. It also has these fine adjustments for the tracks so you can have it run nice and smoothly, and that also means you can use it with pretty much any table saw. And what I like about this one is that the screws are on the top, which means you can put it in the track and then adjust it rather than lifting it up and adjusting them on the sides or even below as it is on some miter gauges. I did make sure the miter gauge was aligned perfectly with my table saw, and I also made sure my blade was accurate to the slot by using this 3D printed dial gauge. Now I know what you think, this is a bit too nice to use with that old table saw, and yes, I am planning to upgrade, but first I need to move to a new shop and to do some more outrageous videos talking about IKEA, furniture and pricing. And this miter gauge is going to stay with me, that's for sure. I also tried doing a 45-degree cut and it looks perfect. I could go on and do even more tests, but there's a great video on this miter gauge made by Hooked on Wood. I will link to it below. Now what about the price? Well, the miter gauge was $150, so not that cheap. But compared to the competition, many of the miter gauges I was looking at was around $300, although some of them came with a fence. The fence for this one was $50 and it seems just fine. Now my first impressions of this miter gauge is that it's really good and well worth the money. Now it does look awfully like the Jessam one. I'm not gonna comment that. Okay, on to the next item on the list. Now I've been meaning to get a T-ruler for a long time because I find myself needing it all the time. But the price of $130 from woodpeckers seems just too much. Now this is a T-ruler from a company called Vaco. That's a bit better than Hongdoi, I admit, but I'm not sure it's that much better. So this is 600 millimeters long, almost 24 inches, and it comes in this red color. That is a bit of a bummer. I mean, they shouldn't really try to resemble other brands. I'd rather it had its own color, but it looks nice and the numbers are clearly visible. It comes unassembled, but other than the screws, you have these small alignment dots so that it actually stays in place. I wanted to find out if it was straight, and the simplest way I could think of is to just mark out a 90-degree line and see if it aligns when I do the same line from the other side. And it seems to be very straight. The scale also seems accurate, and it does actually look and feel nice to use. It isn't that heavy, and the numbers are clear and visible. The price was $44, and compare that to the woodpecker's ruler, for instance, that is $130. I think it's a price saver that I feel comfortable doing. I mean, for the price, it seems to be accurate enough for me. Now let's get on to the next one. When I was buying all these tools, I had a thought that it would be so cool if I could make my own tool. So I jumped into Fusion 360 and made myself a really simple machinist square. I added my logo to it and I uploaded it to the sponsor of today's video, PCBWay. And on there I chose stainless steel and I added a black coat paint to it, and I had them make it for me. And it just arrived and I think it looks fantastic. I'm like the Tony Stark of woodworking, except instead of a suit of armor, I have a tool belt, and instead of saving the world, I'm just building some bookshelves. And I did try it out for squareness, and it seems to be perfectly square as well. Now, thanks to PCBWay for sponsoring this video and making this awesome square for me. I mean, should I make even more tools for myself? Because this is really fun. Now, I have some issues with my old drill press. One, it doesn't drill straight, which is kind of an important feature of a drill press. And two, I have it stored away, and every time I need it, I need to make room for it. Now, this isn't a replacement for a drill press, but I constantly find myself just needing to drill a 90-degree hole, and I just need to do it once, and I want it to be quick. Well, this is the answer, I hope. Now, this is a simple drill guide. It comes with an extra attachment. It's $79, so I have definitely seen cheaper ones out there, but at least it's half the price of the Rockler one. But they are of course a bit different, because this one doesn't tilt, it's just a 90-degree drill guide. The attachment can be used to drill on the side of something and for support when drilling down onto something. Now it seems to be quite sturdy and good, and then again it wasn't super cheap either. This is just one of those things that I want to be able to drill 90 degrees quickly instead of using my old drill press. I doubt I'll be using this much, but it's just nice to have. And as I won't be using it that much, I'd rather pay less than buying something really expensive. The Rockler one is double the price, but has the advantage of being able to tilt. But that can also be a downside, because with this one I can trust it to be 90 degrees once I've made sure it actually is. And I actually did that by drilling a hole, sticking a drill bit inside and measuring for 90 degrees. Oh, fuck. So I just drilled into the table because I'm stupid. That's what you need the depth stop for. And I had it set way too low because anyways, I'm just gonna cover that up and never tell my wife about it. I'm just gonna call her and tell her. I'll be right back. There is some apparent flex to the aluminium rods, so it's not made for super precise work, but I'm not that guy anyways. It's all made out of aluminium. The stop is just a simple brass thumb screw, you lock it in place and you're good to go. Now I really like this one. It makes drilling holes very easy. The stop is easy setting up and therefore repeatability is easy. And it's so much faster than my drill press. Last thing in the pile is this package right here, and I'm excited for this one. I haven't even opened this up. For my Festool track, I previously bought these MFT screw clamps from Makita. They were around $40 for a pair, and they are a bit tedious. They're well taped together, this. package. Oh, come on. How much tape did you use on this? But these are basically the same as the Festool quick clamp, but they're half the price. Now Besi also makes these, but they're almost as expensive as the Festool ones. I tried them out and they seem to be able to handle a lot of force, and they look good. The quality seems good enough not to break on me, but I won't know for sure until I've used them for a while. I actually ordered these from Amazon from a company called Q-Work, but I initially ordered them from the same place as I ordered all the other tools, but they got back to me and said they were out of stock, and they didn't really know when they were back in stock. So I went onto Amazon and I found these, and they do look exactly the same, but they are from a different brand. And these are of course suitable as MFT clamps as well, so I can use them on my workbench. And I also 3D printed and designed this holder for the MFT clamp, so I can attach this to my workbench or my ceiling or whatever. And now, what I wasn't expecting to say at the end of this video is this. I think a lot of us are quite quick to think that Chinese things aren't any good, but if you go up one tier and pay a bit more than the absolute cheapest things, you can actually get some really good quality items. I mean, I'm really happy I got all of these. A quick price comparison: if I were to buy the most popular items instead, I would have paid around $710, but now I only paid $382. Well, only and only, it's still a lot of money, of course. And the thing is, I really struggle to find something bad to say about these things, because when I was planning this video out, I didn't intend to do a video where I was just saying good things about them. I wanted to find things to complain on. Now, while this is just my first impressions, I really enjoy these things, and I'm really happy because I think I actually saved myself some money. But what do you think? Would you buy these? What was your favorite? Let me know down in the comments. Now, I did buy all of these things with my own money. I do have links that are affiliate links down below, which means I get a small kickback at no extra cost to you. Well, that's it. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.